This is what we call hater shit. There is no better term.
Latest total traffic.
Got it, you guys.
Is sponsored by Indeed.com. Temperature.
All right. So, shout out to my sponsors, Target, who have...
Target is not your sponsor, Heather. Oh my gosh. I feel like I work with a mental patient right now. I feel like I'm now in my office and here's my patient. Okay, seriously.
I've accepted my phone call and request for my travel system and set it up at customer service for us.
What? She's so...
Thank you.
She is so spoiled. This is what I'm talking about. Everything she wants, how does she end up getting? I mean, I guess it's different because they don't have a car to put it in, so they're going to be pushing the stroller back. I don't know. I'm confused. They're going to assemble it for her for free? I didn't know they did that.
Set it up at customer service for us. Thank you. Literally, it's like a celebration to get someone who answers the phone and is not awful, you know?
Well, were you
So that's
nice?
fantastic. We're going to pick it up. I have been asking Xavier to put his leggings on now for about 45 minutes, and he finally got them on.
Why would you condone that behavior, Heather?
Show him. Got him on. Show him.
I had to see it, so you do too. Oh my. Why is his shirt so high up? Why he's can't. This is super okay. I'm sorry. Say what you want. Be mad if you want. I can't. Why is his pants down and his shirt is up? His shirt is risen up. Look at it. You see his fucking beer belly and his... Ew, I don't know if this zipper or his belly button. It's probably his zipper, but you can see his pelvic line. You can see part of his leg, and then you look up top, and you can tell. You can see his other side of his hip. His pants are pulled down. That is disgusting.
Not pulled up. Jesus.
Look at this. Look at his nostrils. Look at this classic couple.
Beautiful day.
Beautiful day. It's a beautiful day, Xavier. Thank you for pushing me around in my wheelchair. It's a beautiful day.
Chicago, but it's 45 outside. They knew that we had to go pick up the travel system today. This is such a blessing. Look at, you guys remember the bin?
I swear, bro. I can't.
Remember our bin? No.
I'm not used to the frumpy tent, Heather, and I absolutely understand and respect the value of confidence in self and how lucky I was to have my own home and shower and clothes, etc. Were you, Heather? Really? These are all universal rights, in my opinion. Home, shower, plumbing, clothing, food, transportation, healthcare. Well, you should tell, the rest of the world that. Oh, yeah.
Latest total traffic.
Got it, you guys.
Is sponsored by Indeed.com.
Oh my gosh, if I hear one more sponsored I thought they put it together. They wheelchaired over there to pick up a travel system so she could hold it in her lap, and he wheelchaired that bitch back to the tent.
So,
Yeah, at POTUS. Good luck there, broad.
here's the only thing, America, and this is Heather Gillespie.
America.
I am all for helping people and sanctuary cities and all of that. I am a natural born citizen of this country
Oh, my Lord.
who has been employed full time
Hush.
the majority of her
No,
adult
you haven't.
life and living in my own space my
God.
whole entire life.
No, you haven't.
How do you justify America, law enforcement, et cetera, and so forth? Xavier and I just walked all the way to Target Broadway to pick up my travel system for my baby. We have
my
20
God.
closed tickets for shelter assistance through the city of Chicago that have all been closed with no shelter being provided. And there is an entire probably 100 to 300 refugees who have been given a huge church on the corner of Irving and Lakeshore Drive.
Oh, wow.
I don't want them out. I'm not saying, why do they get that? That's bullshit. I'm saying, why did they get that? And I'm in a tent. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
39 weeks.
Okay, here's what I have to say about that. Yes, I know you'll ask for my opinion. Okay, I actually saw a reel with this one guy, and I felt so bad for him. Like, you could tell, like, he was so upset. He had a bike, and he was trying to get in line to get into some shelter. I don't even know where they were at. But they were, like, all, like, immigrants, people who, different places. And he wasn't an immigrant. He was a U.S. citizen, so they would not let him in. And I felt so bad, and I just felt his frustration. And then I can say I am confused as hell about that. I've always have been. I've never understood why our vets aren't taken care of. And I do understand why there are some homeless people, because for one, you know, they could be drug addicts or, you know, alcoholics, and they just they don't care. And then there's some people who become homeless and they're so content with it, they really don't want to live another life. You know, it's almost like people who's on all the assistance that they could have. It's like, well, why do I get a job? Because then if I get a job, then I'm going to have to pay for my food. I'm going to have to pay for my house. You know, I'm going to have to pay for all my bills. So I do understand that part.
So
I can say nothing but by the hundreds of thousands strangers are permitted to slander and abuse me.
just went live literally 4 or 5 times. I got into explaining how they are housing approximately 1 to 300 housing refugees at Irving and Lakeshore Drive, but I can't get into shelter there. And I don't want them to be thrown outside or to suffer, but I don't want to suffer either. I'm 39 weeks pregnant, and this is my 12th month in a tent.
But, to be fair, I don't know why the hell this slipped my mind. You don't want to be where they're at, okay? I don't know what they're doing, but you don't want to be where they're at, and there's a reason why you're not supposed to be where they're at, Heather.
Disgusting slander in my comments, ridiculous. So just to play devil's advocate, I jumped onto a live and started repeating just a few of the things that have been said to me. It took Instagram 5 seconds to kick me out of the live and report me.
My word.
How the fuck is it possible that I have so many videos of thousands, hundreds of thousands of people telling me to die, telling me to kill myself, telling me that they're calling all these fucking agencies on me, but I can't even breathe a word negative. So for the record, if any of my posts seem out of order or difficult to understand, or like I'm not able to articulate fully, or just they don't make sense to you, chances are it's whoever's been hacking my phone is back in my phone again, hacking it. And when I'm documenting all of the fucked up things that are going on and trying to leave them in a place where I can remember and have them organized, people are working equally as hard to not allow that to take place. As I said, I just jumped on another live. I said 3 mean comments, very similar to ones that I've received by the tens or hundreds of thousands in the last 4 years.
Why would you do that?
They immediately removed me from the live and kicked me out and issued me a warning. Yet these people are allowed to just rip into me, you know, whenever they feel like it. And I want to press charges against everyone involved.
Okay, then you press charges against everybody involved.
Hi, you guys. I'm so frustrated right now. I had a fabulous morning. Probably the best morning that we've had in a while, just because we were able to get out and stretch our legs and breathe fresh air. And my number one source of anxiety, as you guys all know, is obviously that we've been left to die in a tent. For 12 months, literally, I have taken every measure that you can imagine.
Okay, I'm sorry. I'm going to try not to do so much talking, but who am I kidding? I usually end up talking too much. But the way that she laughs, I'm sorry, but I know she's crazy, and I think her doing the drugs made it like it notched that bitch up. But whenever she says something and she smiles and she does that look, and she knows she's fucking full of shit too. And I really hope that people watch that and pick up on that, because those are little things where it's like, don't let her trick you, okay? She knows what she's doing. She's being a smart ass.
Shelters, assistance homes, domestic abuse survivor groups,
What are
the
we talking
National
about?
Human Sex Trafficking Hotline, politicians, older people, hospitals.
She's trying not
There
to
is
smile.
not an avenue I've not explored numerous times for resolution, yet nothing is resolved. We're sitting in a tent. I'm 39 weeks pregnant, and my 3 big kids who have lived in
I'm
my
sorry.
house and
I'm
been
sorry. Am I the only one who can't stop smiling? I feel like she's trying so hard not to smile. Maybe
under
she's-
my care their entire lives are still separated from me. So there are a lot of problems with the situation. To see me smiling and like feeling happy in this day is so rare. It would just be fabulous
What?
if someone could just get all of the nasty negativity and just get it away.
Right.
You know, I cannot handle it.
Yeah.
And I have not made it like a sad thing or like a secret, like,
Oh.
Xavier, don't let anyone know that I'm pissed off that they just blocked my 6, social media posts that were all
Okay,
documenting something that's very
All right, what are we on, Heather? What are we on? Ooh, I feel ya. Okay, what are we on here?
that we're all documenting something that's very painful for me to discuss once, let alone 6 times. And they took them down nefariously. I come on here and I keep it real. This is where I'm at. I started up here. I'm down here now. Let's talk about why. Because I have been getting shat on. So if I'm up here naturally, it takes a whole bunch of down here-ers.
Libby just says she got shatted on. I shitted on him. Boom, boom, boom. I shitted on him. Stop.
My up been getting shat on. So if I'm up here naturally, it takes a whole bunch of down here-ers affecting my up here to bring me down here. So I'm looking for solutions on how I can get all the down here-ers
Here-ers?
away from me.
Away from
That'd
over
be
here-ers.
fabulous,
Over
right?
there-ers. Yes.
We finally got a bunch of the stuff that the baby needed. I've been ordering stuff off of Amazon since we got to this location nearly 10 weeks ago. For anyone who doesn't know, I have been unlawfully separated from my family and thrown literally into the street. Police have ignored me when I have been raped, sexually assaulted, raped, when I have been robbed. Someone broke into my apartment after I had 4 locks installed on the door while I was asleep, and stole a whole bunch.
I can't. I'm trying so hard not to say nothing, but I'm like imagining that if I was like a first time watcher and I heard this, I would be like, oh my gosh, like, dang, she been doing, it didn't take me long to figure out her story. Like, I knew she was crazy, but yeah, like, it's like she memorizes this by heart, and the way she says it is almost like a pledge. She has no emotions to it at all whatsoever.
Money, clothes, food, all sorts of things from me. I reported it to law enforcement. They laughed in my face. That was Harwood Heights. They took the bed sheet filled with semen.
What do they do?
So they took that and said they'd run, analysis, but did not come upstairs to dust for fingerprints, to take photos of all the locks that were broken open, to look at my apartment, nothing. Literally laughed in my face and asked me if I wanted a ride to the doctor. That was in 2022. I have been meticulously documenting all of the abuse. The abuse began in 2019, about 3 months before Dylan was released, when I was jumped and stabbed by 3 women 11 times with screwdrivers
11?
for no reason. They had targeted me several weeks back at an actual visit, and I don't know what the problem is. I think it's because...
sorry. What was the 9 times? I thought she got stabbed with. This is not funny, but for Heather, I feel like it's well, it is a real story, but it's not like how she seems. I thought she said she got stabbed by a screwdriver 9 times. Was it always 11 times? What am I thinking of 9 times?
11 times with screwdrivers for no reason. They had targeted me several weeks back at an actual visit, and I don't know what the problem is. I think it's because they knew Dylan was working deals, and they were taking it out on me because they couldn't get to him. That's the only thing I can think of, but I really don't know.
Liar.
I have been reporting these violent...
Okay, stop. For anyone who is new to the game, no. Let me go ahead and just right there, because I know most of us are rewatchers and we know, but just in case, if anyone is new, that is not true at all whatsoever. That girl she had an altercation with whenever she went to go meet Dylan. They saw each other at visitation, and Heather was pretty much the provoker. She was pretty much like, okay, well, if you want to get down, if you want to fight it out, we'll meet up at the gas station. So they met at the gas station. Well, I guess Heather didn't know they had screwdrivers and there was like more than one girl. I don't know. But Heather was talking shit. And for her to sit here and lie about the whole entire thing, I have no idea. I don't know. It was a random act. Like, it was a hate crime. Like, I have no idea what conspired that. It was Dylan's fault. It was because he sold drugs. I don't know. But it was because you provoked it, Heather. You wanted that. So, just to let that be known and clear, she knows. And for her to be lying about it tells you she's guilty.
I think it's because they knew Dylan was working deals, and they were taking it out on me because they couldn't get to him. That's the only thing I can think of, but I really don't know. I have been reporting these violent occurrences and attacks and...
Oh, and let it be known, whoever they were visiting would quickly take care of Dylan if that was even the freaking issue. It's not because they wanted to get to Dylan. Somebody could have gotten to Dylan. It's because Heather provoked it, and Heather thought she wanted some, even though she'd never been in a fight in her life, and she met the wrong people at the right motherfucking time.
Assaults to law enforcement locally, as well as throughout the entire state of Illinois, as well as emailing political parties, aldermen, mayors, etc., and so forth, for all of our neighboring states: Wisconsin, Minnesota, Michigan, Indiana, and etc., and so forth. I am not claiming to be a saint. I have, committed acts that I'm not proud of, like I was coerced and groomed into sex work. I was selling sexy content. Did I look good doing it? Absolutely.
Whoa.
I put my whole heart and soul into it.
Wow.
I did my makeup and hair. I learned marketing and sales.
Okay.
I adjusted lighting. I did set design. I learned how to collaborate with others. There are so many lessons I learned doing it. Do I wish I could take it back and know that in my moral, the fact that some random staff members changed my addresses in all of the area hospitals to DuPage County
I don't know what had happened, but it did.
prison's address. They took out my home address and put the address of DuPage County Prison. I've never been to prison in my life. I don't even have a criminal record. Do you hear that? I don't even have a criminal record. So all of this harassment and stalking that's been taking place, I have been quoted by lawyers as to saying, no, they don't want to do a personal injury case. There's nothing wrong with me. Yeah, you beat me over the head with a tire iron and busted open my skull, but guess what? I could still go out, take any job that's on the market, and kill it. So, no matter how bad you beat me up. Like, you're a man, you busted open my head with a literal tire iron out of my own back seat. The police responded to the call, and somehow I still haven't gotten any victim services to that.
Hey. Is there anybody else's man who wears like those big hair clips? Just a wondering.
That man was sentenced to 18 months in prison, and I was not even notified that there was a court date? No, there's something going on here. So lawyers, serious lawyers, are not trying to go for personal injury. Serious lawyers are trying to go against every single individual institution.
Why would you
starting
say
with
like
CBH
that?
to Advocate Hospital. Northwestern Hospital has a whole lot of fucked up shit going on. Just bad. And I have reported it all diligently to every law enforcement agent that there is in existence. Barrington, Lombard, Elmhurst, Chicago, many jurisdictions. And as I said, I've been emailing area law enforcement agencies, government agencies, etc., and so forth, letting them know everything that's going on. We're now in our 12-month in a tent, and we walk by this church, this huge church on Irving and Lakeshore Drive. They are housing refugees there. There are approximately 100 to 300 people in the entire thing. We only saw 10, but I know that that's capacity. So I'm guessing it's between 1 and 300 people who are living there. I asked the man who lives inside, ¿Qué está pasando aquí? And he told me he's a Venezuelan refugee and that they have been allowing them to home there, to house themselves there.
Tell you're not a refugee.
So we know that 19,000 refugees have come in. They've given them the St. Clair Hotel. They've given them multiple churches. I'm a natural-born American citizen who's been working really hard since she was 14 years old, paying taxes since she was 14 years old. I've said this before, I'll say it again. You needed a work permit when I first started working as a 14-year-old girl. To avoid criminal charges for child labor at 14 years old, you had to go to a dean in your high school and get permission, a work permit, to get a job. And that is exactly what I did. Why am I in a fucking tent for 12 months, 39 weeks pregnant? Riddle me that. So I'm all happy, like we're in a good vibe. We come back from going to Target. I have been being targeted unlawfully for 4 entire years. I've not gotten more than a few weeks of a break from in between, and I've also expressed that I want to press charges against everyone involved thousands of times. Nothing is new here. I am not an active participant in this. I do not give my permission. I think that it's disgusting, and that everyone involved should be charged. I want to know how it is possible that as a country, we can find a way to house, feed, clothe, bathe, and support.
How are you supposed to help support anyone if you can even support yourself? We're supposed to be supporting you and other people, but you can't, like, how you gonna help with this?
Everyone around, from refugees to prisoners to the homeless to regular middle class to people living on Section 8 to, I mean, you name it. Every single at-risk or vulnerable population that exists has found some sort of support. But Heather Gillespie and Xavier Montoya are on month 12 in a tent outside.
Gosh.
How do you explain
the
that?
world's smallest violin.
How the fuck do you explain that? And I have 20.
Look, Xavier's like, I don't know, man. Just don't look at my phone, bro.
Closed tickets, shelter requests through the city's 311 department on file with reference numbers, some of them recorded so you can hear the person's voice on the other side as they close the case and claim that because we're single and this is their busiest season, that there is no shelter that they can provide, and that once the baby is born, because again, I'm 39 weeks pregnant, you guys, once the baby is born, then Xavier and I will qualify for a family placement. What the fuck?
First of all, I'm sorry. I feel like every single time I stop it's like she has a crazy face, and I don't do it on purpose, but it's funny. But I don't do it on purpose, but it's still kind of funny. Okay, first of all, you were happy whenever you heard that, Heather. And then, second of all, is that true? Or do you have to, like, legally be married? Like, can you, a boyfriend and girlfriend, like, do something like that? I mean, that would be cool. That would be nice. But either way, I think they both need help. I wish they would go to, like, a transition home. Oh, my gosh. If I, like, was a millionaire, I would love to have, like, an orphan house. And then, like, some kind of transition house with, like, the moms and the babies or something. And you help them, like, get the jobs and get their career or their GED or their high school diploma or go to college or go to trade school and help the kids go to daycare and just, like, help them, get them on up there, you know, the ones who want to help themselves. That would be so sweet. I really want to do that. I forgot what I was going to say. Oh, I guess I was just saying that would be really cool if they kind of did that with Xavier. I could see why not. You know what I'm saying? Because if it's like a lot of people are women's only, there has to be some people out there who take a unit. You know what I'm saying? Like a unit. I would be nervous too, but someone has to.
How about this? You should have never fucking thrown me out of my apartment in the first place.
I didn't do shit.
Or
okay?
put me in the street, and me and my children would still be going on about our business, living our lives. I'd probably still be selling renewable energy right now.
That's a lie. Oh my gosh, really?
Right?
You thought you
Definitely
would
wouldn't need to fund.
You think you'd be selling renewable energy right now? That's where you want to be in that life? Okay, Heather. Says a lot about you.
Fundraise. Definitely wouldn't need to sleep on uneven plywood. Definitely would not need to be literally flooded with spam. Nasty messages. Threats.
Nasty messages.
Physical violence. Sexual violence.
Whoa.
This is uncalled for. It's uncalled for. Now, I don't want any refugee to be outside or without a place to live. And that's not my purpose in bringing up the fact that we're housing a bunch of refugees. That's fabulous. What the fuck do I have to do to get the same that we're giving refugees? New York is putting $1,000 debit cards in the hands of each family of 4 if you are a refugee. Each month, in exchange for the promise that they will spend them on bodegas and small stores and grocery stores. That is more assistance than I've ever been provided in this country in my entire existence.
Gosh.
And I'm a natural born citizen with 3 children. How do you make that make sense? Everyone wants to talk about having morals and values and ethics, but it not being my problem. I believe in one love. There's a concept of one love. It originated as a Rastafarian concept, and it has evolved into what I know it to be today. What I know it to be today is one love, brotherly love. Look at the person next to you when they're coming to you for help, guidance, advice, etc. Consider them yourself. Imagine your own face in their face. Imagine someone you love and care about. And speak to them and handle them in the way that you would want to be handled and spoken to. That doesn't mean label someone who's been abused and is reactively abusing back as a problem. That means zoom out and see the problem for what it really is. Period. They're not even similar or similarly connected. But because I have, just like everyone else in the world, lost my temper, people are trying to say that I should not be speaking on this subject because I have been caught on camera, that's what they call COVID, being rude and disrespectful to my assistant, Amy Bolin. You're right. You're absolutely right. I was being raped at the time. I was being human trafficked at the time. I was being manipulated, coerced, and extorted at the time. I was trying to raise 3 children at the time. I was trying to run a business at the time. And I fucked up. I was rude and mean. You're right. How many times do I have to apologize for my weakened mental state while I was being sexually harassed and raped? What the fuck? You know? How many years do I have to spend in a tent to pay for being a bitch one time? It doesn't make sense.
Yeah, I'm confused.
And I'm tired of being patient about it, and I'm tired of every single time that I have a half of a fucking breath of air to set this shit down and not be fucking carrying it everywhere, someone finds a way to fuck it up. On purpose with premeditation. What kind of a sad, fucked up ass individual are you if you make it your mission to find people who are vibrating up here for the first time in God knows how long, who you know have been sexually abused, physically abused in so many ways, and come up with a premeditated campaign to cause them additional harm?
Why are we yelling?
Show me your faces, please. Please, because we talk a lot in this country about what we don't want and what we do want, but we never really consider what we want and how it affects the people who don't want it. You have a problem that I'm in a tent? Why don't you call the mayor? Why don't you call the police? Why don't you be an advocate for me? Why don't you say, I've been watching this girl's FTRs for 3 years now. She's been publicly crying out for help, for shelter, saying, help me, something corrupt and unlawful took place in 2019. I went to the court about it. And
Okay, hear me out. Again, sorry for the still picture. But she wants someone to come and, like, rescue her. You know what I'm saying? Like, go call the mayor, call the FBI, let them know. So it's like, what if people, I know this sounds fucked up, but what if, like, people, I'm not sure who yet, what would happen if a few people showed up there in tents and, like, a briefcase and, like, a nice suit and, like, a nice vehicle or something like that, and was like, asking, oh, Heather, is this Heather Gillespie? Can you, and then just bring her to a mental institution. Just bring her straight there. Like, make her think that she's, and then have her mama sitting there waiting on her or something in a padded room, and I don't know. This is so hard. I wouldn't say do that. Don't do that. Don't do that. Don't do that. That's fucked up. That's traumatizing. But I'm just wondering, I'm not saying, like, I don't think someone should do that. I'm just wondering, what would she do if someone did? Would she be like, oh, finally, and would go? Or would she be smart enough to be like, then she would be really freaking scared that, yeah, thinking someone's after her.
No one is. She's been publicly crying out for help, for shelter, saying, help me. Something corrupt and unlawful took place in 2019. I went to the court about it, and no one has helped me. As a matter of fact, they put me in the street where I have been fighting for my life ever since. I have been raped several times. I have been robbed several times. I'm pregnant with my second pregnancy since being thrown in the street. The first one, I assume, was a result of sexual assault.
Bitch, do not get started.
Xavier says it was not. He says that he took some sort of stimulant that he never took before, and that's what made him last so long. I don't remember feeling lucid and half asleep and waking up 6 or 7 times from that lucid dizziness in my life to be having had sex with for 6 to 8 hours. And that pregnancy of twins was the result of that 6 to 7 hours of sex. The dates match up perfectly. So at 18 weeks, 6 days, they kill my babies. I go into premature labor in an Airbnb after the Airbnb owner was telling us to leave because she was demanding an extra $150 for Xavier to be there. He's on the reservation. What do you mean? And then I have to post all my Airbnb reviews because every single host has been like, Heather's fucking amazing. One of the best guests we've ever had. Would have her back anytime.
You're about to do something fuck off.
That fucks up your story, doesn't it?
Move on.
So it's like, I'm over here defending myself to even smile for a few hours. Be able to call your phone 300 times in a day because their fucking sad, miserable, pathetic life is so meaningless that's the only, source of adrenaline or oxytocin or serotonin release that they can get. And when we're identifying that is what makes people happy, those people need to be just, you know what I mean? Because continuing to allow that gene to take place, the gene that sees someone smile and decides, not only does that make me upset that you're smiling, but I'm also going to plan a whole entire coordinated effort to make you stop smiling. That shit is sick. That shit is sick. And if you want to hear the professional version of all of my beliefs, go right over to Gary V's page. Because literally, I have never met a person in my life who thinks more similarly to the way that I think, whose message is closer to what I have been preaching nonstop on a recorded phone line since 2015, and we're in 2024 now. So that's 9 years. I'm not saying he stole the ideas from me. I'm just saying I am not as refined business-wise as Gary V is. Gary V is a marketing guru. I started watching him when I started selling my own content in 2015 and needed to know better how to market, how to sell. So he says things about morals and values and ethics and being a good person and doing this and doing that. Those belief systems, that's how I was raised. That's what I've been preaching this entire time. How do you live by those belief systems and truly want well for someone when you can't even smile for 2 hours out of 10 weeks without them 30 at least missed calls from an unknown number in the last 2 days? And most of them are when I'm doing a live or shooting content.
Stop calling when she's live.
What's the reason for that?
Rude.
How fucking miserable can you be? Could be and am sad, depressed, scared, anxious, but I still find ways to be happy.
Why in the world whenever she said that, I saw the chart in my head of the little smile faces, and it's like, how do you feel today? Like whenever you're a little kid and you're like, I'm sleepy, or I'm happy, I'm nervous.
That's when they come back. That's when they come back. Who does that? Who lives in a way
Who raised you?
that they just wait around for someone to have a break from being court interaction? My God, how did I get here, God? Jesus Christ, I am begging you right now. Please make it make sense. All these refugees are getting housing and funding. I'm separated from my children who have lived with me full time since the day of their births, all the way through the time this targeting began.
Oh gosh.
I have no home. I have no car. All of it has been robbed from me. Law enforcement has blatantly
Why are
ignored
you
me.
looking at us?
Never once even called
Hey, I thought you was talking to Jesus. Why you be looking over here at the camera? Don't be looking at me and talking to him. What you doing? Who you talking to? Who you talking to?
me back about any of these cases. I'm about to have a baby. And anytime I find peace or happiness or comfort in any small thing. So I was able to get the travel system from Target. I bought the travel system today, and I was scared that I was going to go into labor before I had it. And I finally got it. And I'm smiling. Xavier and I have the radio. He's pushing me in a wheelchair because I can't even walk more than 5 blocks. I have the huge travel system on my lap with 2 bags of clothes for the baby. This is all for the baby. I've been ordering off of Amazon for 3
my God.
months. Baby stuff.
Are you kidding me?
Of clothes for the baby. This is all for the baby. I've been ordering off of Amazon for 3 months. Baby stuff. And rather than letting me fucking smile and be happy,
Bro, do y'all think all that credit's gonna go back to the people who, like, donated, gave her money, or is it gonna go, like, back to her? Is she gonna be able to get that credit back? I don't know how that works.
someone thinks that it's their job to just shit all over us.
Shitty,
And I keep faith and I pray to God and say to God, God, I don't get it. I am so confused by this. What is going on here? And of course, the relationship with God is never that God just says, oh, Heather, well, I'm glad you asked. This is what it is, X, Y, and Z. But I can't fucking take it anymore. I really, truly cannot. And I shouldn't have to. And I want to press charges against everyone involved. I really do. I have the ability, the capacity, the intelligence to create a beautiful business. GoPro Solo has the potential to be incredibly profitable. I have been working my business, since 2015.
Not yours.
I have served many happy customers who have purchased content, clothing, curation, creative direction,
so happy,
brand management, trade show modeling, promotional efforts, staffing, event staffing, bartending, all under the GoPro Solo business name, my business. I have proven time and time again where I have been profitable and successful in doing so.
Who owns that name?
I've held, prior to my self-employment endeavors, employment at Northwestern Hospital, 5 to 8 years with Northwestern, Clisma, NMFF, Alexian Brothers Hospital, Parag Doshi's Cardiovascular Institute. I have such a solid history of work experience and moral and ethical compassing.
How do we get here?
There's nothing to say. Every bad thing that has happened in my life has come at the heels of the police entering my situation. Every single thing. Every single thing.
Stop calling them.
Why?
Why you be
I go
calling
to the
them?
police and say, I've been raped, I need help. And they laugh at me. And then society supports me through that. They are there with me on a live feed watching that take place, and they support me through that. But then as soon as the police start to give me some sort of compassion or say she's right, she should be receiving, assistance with housing. If we can house refugees, why can't we house a United States citizen? Then my entire online database of followers and tapper-inners, they turn against me and start saying, kill yourself. Your tooth is ugly. You're a crackhead. No one loves you. No one wants you. Everyone will be better off when you're dead. Kill yourself, bitch. Writing a novel. I'm almost to page 500 in my own novel.
Whenever I am able to catch her live, I don't see people saying that. Because I would call someone out. I mean, not on live because I have to be fucking undercover. Bitch be blocking. But I don't see that. I don't see people saying that. Some people, you know, may troll her, but they don't ever. I've never seen anyone say anything like that in a while. Or I don't think at all. I mean, yes, some people say some messed up things, but nothing on that level.
Modeling,
Is it gonna
statement,
get
modeling,
worse?
hair, makeup.
Probably.
That's what I do. What do
Are we
you
gonna
do?
watch? Yes.
That's right. Nothing. But then you come into my comments and tell me to kill myself. Got it.
Next time, Heather, why don't you call out the username who actually said that? I would. Because I don't think no one ever says it. And if anyone does say it, then they should be fucking called out anyways.
So I wanted really bad to just go on Instagram and do an FTR because there's a lot of liability here, and for legal reasons, it would be great for me to have that on file. I attempted 5 times where I spoke about 10 minutes each time in a very organized way, and each time it was erased. Someone hacked into libelous, very painful, damaging things that people are saying and doing
This is
against
painful.
me. And be the bigger person. I'm a nice person. I'm not going back to these people's pages and doing the same thing back to them. I'm asking for accountability at a state and federal level of how myself,
How are you going to ask someone else to have accountability and you can even have it your own self? None at all whatsoever. That's the whole entire problem.
fully intelligent and capable young woman
Innocent
could be
solution.
and 4 years is way too much time for them to have had to resolve this. I'm not a trainer. I'm not getting paid. I'm not
glad this is
a federal government employee. I'm not a local government employee. I am a civilian for the millionth time. I have been used, abused, exploited, taken
Used and
advantage of,
abused,
and I'm
baby.
tired. And I am pleased so that I can continue to launch my campaign asking
even know
people
how
for
to take
assistance, understanding, compassion, advocacy. Call your local law enforcement. Call your local mayors. Call your local governors. Call.
Stop. First of all, I wanted to apologize because I was like, they probably aren't even listening because I don't even know what she's talking about right now. And people can't probably follow along because I'm like fucking interrupted. And then she's saying this and it reminds me of that funny meme where she's like, or who was that? That how's your kids? How'd your wife? Oh, I need to go see.
Call, write letters, write emails, use my name.
Write a letter.
Please don't let me get lost and what's going on are not right. I don't want to see any refugees without access to housing. I also don't want to see any natural-born American citizens who have worked building this
Come
country,
on.
paying taxes in this country, and resided in this country their entire lives living out in the street.
It's so boring,
I
Heather.
want good things as candidates. And here's the thing, to be on the
the fuck
receiving
is
end of a
Xavier
smear campaign
doing?
like that, oh my God, 90% of it is not even true. How can we even communicate accurate information about our presidential candidates if we can't even get through the fucking fake news? The fake fucking news, oh my God. There's real problems here.
Yeah.
If we don't have to wade through the tremendous shit pile that these people
Women
publish
through that bitch.
while not being arrested, criminally charged. Donald Trump said a quote. He was being interviewed.
Oh,
And it was like a Joe Biden, Donald Trump thing. So they were asking questions back and forth. And they said to Donald Trump, what do you think about the war in Ukraine and Russia? And if you were elected president again tomorrow, whose side would you take and how would you go about handling the situation? And Donald Trump said, I would have the war vehicles that are not toilets.
that's probably a good idea.
People are starving.
You're
The
not.
war stopping prevents all of that. there is no whose side would you be on. There's continue to do that while I'm doing this.
Oh, except for got in trouble. Was he smoking?
It's going it that way.
I don't care.
What is?
It's going it that way.
He said, "I'm blowing it that way."
It's going it that way.
I was blowing it
I
that
don't
way.
care. Do you think that I want to be on a live feed with nothing but a Bic being flipped over and over and over and over and over? Like, I'm already
Exactly. So over and over and over again, just like why he's coughing, it's fucking a pipe. What else is in a pipe? I know it's not just weed. Sometimes they do be getting high, and maybe that's what she needs. But I'm just saying, you never know.
getting fucked with online and distracted and trying to make points and document all this shit because I've already gone through all of this. I mean, I don't give a fuck how many people are here. Here's the thing about me.
Oh my
I'm not
God.
using this so that
Like, you
people
don't
can be
know
like, oh
enough
my God,
already?
look what Heather said or did. I'm using this so that I can remember everything that I'm owed money for.
What?
Every day of this that I document after having reported this to the FBI and law enforcement no less than hundreds of times has a dollar amount associated with it. So you could say, why is she putting this online? Because I don't have to fucking take it anymore. I feel like I'm surrounded with losers who cannot stand to see a person do anything for themselves and in turn attacks the person who's making any progress or headway.
But that's the thing, you're not doing anything for yourself, and you're not making any headway either. You're not getting, nothing's getting done. You're not doing anything. You're waiting for someone else to do it for you. That makes no sense at all, Heather.
I know that sounds harsh. That's the
No,
unrefined
it's
capacity.
not true.
And those outlets and moments for happiness don't serve as doors to be opened for harassment. I want to understand why the rules that seem to apply to the entire community don't apply to me, in the sense of if I say or do something, I am immediately removed. Immediately. But I sit in a room giving updates regarding very sensitive and serious topics, sexual assault being held. These are not topics that are funny. Human trafficking, being held down and raped,
What are
being
we doing
deprived.
here today?
So when this is great for the prosecution, because when you're going through my live feeds and you think, wow, Heather is terrible at doing lives, or wow, she should not be on camera, and I'm still able to communicate what I've been able to communicate. So to be quite truthful, I really don't know. And I have ADHD and I'm unmedicated and pregnant. So for every fucking negative thing that there is to say about me,
Okay, I want to know, when's the last time you took your Adderall, Heather? And why is your eyes get so big? You're so dilated. And why do you go crazy? Like, sometimes it's like, because sometimes if you be acting a certain way on some medications, you're not supposed to be taking them. So I'm curious, is she taking her Adderall or is she taking something street?
500 positive things. And I dressed up, refined, an edited version of the truth, of a perspective of the truth. When you're sitting down and having a conversation with a person on a lot to hop off right now, I'm so irritated. You have no idea. As I said before, just being awake.
What the heck? She says she's hopping off the live. I thought that she said she got kicked off of the live. Was it like this the whole entire time? Is that why she's so freaking aggravated? Or was she reading the comments?
From all of this drama was fabulous. You know what's even more fabulous? Being able to log on to my social media account. But I've always been more of an iPhone girl, always. I have a
What?
million iClouds with a whole bunch of saved
my
content that
God.
will forever be
How,
there.
Heather?
Forever. Thank God. And I literally took a job, like a gig, clean
Log off.
for a man who was presenting
Oh my
his.
gosh.
It took me
Fucking log
about 6
off.
hours to clean the entire thing. I had to fill the entire thing with scrubbing bubbles, leave it for about an hour, scrub it all off, go back in again with scrubbing bubbles again, let it soak again. I went to sleep, slept 2 or 3 hours, went back at it again, used bleach, scrubbing bubbles.
Scrubbing
I was also
bubbles.
using some sort of medical grade sanitize this that have been taking place since all of this began in 2019 that all go into that dollar amount being at this point almost $60 million. And that's in emotional distress, damages from being battered, damages from being bludgeoned, damages to my vehicle, the entire vehicle being destroyed 2 months after I paid for it. That's for having thousands of dollars of cash stolen from me. That's for having multiple bank accounts and various other accounts hacked and either shut down with balances in them, including an OF that was non-sexual in nature, just a little bit, too. I wouldn't want to release webisodes on YouTube.
Oh my gosh, Heather.
That were,
it's time to go.
They were a little more on the mature side. So that'll be that. This is a perfect example of how 4 years in, I'm still being harassed and fucked with and treated in a way that is inhumane and substandard for anyone, let alone a woman who's about to give birth to a baby next week. This is fucking disgusting. Goldstein refers to as my period in the weight room to end.
What?
Which means that you know what you're worth, you know what your value is, you know what you're capable of. You're just waiting in the weight room for your opportunity. So I'm trying to stay positive. It is incredibly frustrating. Do you know why I'm...
I was just thinking, this is like the whole thing of like when us Southerners are trying to say bye when it's time to go. Because I was just thinking to myself, she has tried to get off of this live like 7 times already. And she just, every time, I'm not editing this video. It's messing up on its own. That's how she gets so aggravated. But she keeps on talking. And it's like, just end the fucking live already.
Take notes of myself hysterical and freaking out. Most people hide it when they get hysterical and freak out. I make a note of it so that, because you don't get hysterical and freak out for no reason, right? Who here gets hysterical and freaks out for no reason? You're sitting there, you're happy, you're in a good place, and then you just decide, you know what, fuck this. Oh my God, help. No one does. Nobody. So when I record myself in that moment, feeling that emotion, that is why I create videos of myself speaking exactly as I feel in those moments. Those are messages to my future self. They're not messages to any fucking nefarious hacker in my phone, obstructing my justice or stealing my intellectual property. So to all of you who are here with good intentions, I swear to God, I want the world for you. I hope you all get mansions. I hope every fucking one of you wins the lottery, creator or influencer or documenter or reporter or whatever you want to refer to me as. You don't even have to like me.
What?
Just if you do anything in this world other than drag and bring people down.
No.
Intentionally. I'm not talking about a depressive. Intentionally. I want nothing but everything for you. All of the good things. Every single one of you. For all of the rest of you, I am still learning how to... So, you guys have a great day. I'm sorry about that. I'm so fucking irritated. We go through so much. We go through so much to get the little that we do. To let us be happy with it for an hour, like, that's ridiculous. Just get out of my way. Just get out of my way. Yeah.
Crazy.
Whatever changes to cause literally every sense of stability to be found anywhere near us, to be destroyed for no rhyme or reason.
Whoa, girl. You okay?
Can we identify that? Because I'm sitting right now in a tent that is not the tent I purchased. I just double checked as to what tent I purchased.
Oh my God.
The tent I purchased, we could stand up in.
Are you just now noticing that, Heather? Look at your eyes. Look at your big, beautiful brown eyes. They're so big.
Stand up in. I bought it. I have the receipt. How the fuck are we sitting in a tent with all of our stuff in it that looks like our tent got its legs chopped off?
What
the fuck goes on? What goes on?